already know.
Hey.
Mr. Tony Bling, y'all already know. But I have with me Mr. Paul Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
And my brother, Mr. Kevin Little here.
Well, all right.
So I'm quite sure this is going to be a hot topic. I'm very excited about today's show. And I'm also excited because for the first time, the men outnumber the women.
That is true. Wow, I didn't even notice that.
Finally. Because that took some... This is the first time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was like, wait a minute, maybe I messed up. Finally, the men outnumber the women. And I really wanted that. More so for all of the shows for the month, but definitely for this show. And then we got our producer and our engineer, so we got a lot of testosterone in here today. We might gotta pull it up, but that's all right because we strong. We strong
with a C.
Strong. With a strong.
Yes.
Strong.
I mean, how you pronounce it?
Strong.
There you go. So last week's topic was media, our fathers in mainstream media and their disappearing act, basically, or the minimizing of our fathers in mainstream media. And I'm not sure if we ever got the resolution was in order to really fix that, we need our own, support our own.
Pretty much.
That's basically how we sum that up. But this week we are talking about our fathers, continuing our conversation with our fathers, and the subject for these next 2 weeks topic is taking fathers. And this first part is called A Father's Tale, and I named it that because this is wrong. I actually changed the way that tale was spelled on this paper, y'all. And I didn't say it.
Oh, I see that.
Obviously. But I wanted to do it this way because I wanted to give the fathers an opportunity to speak their position, to speak their mind on the matter. We have in this room some fathers who, for different reasons, were not in the home with their children, be it work, be it other obligations, be it jail, be it the army. I mean, there's a host of different reasons why our fathers are not home. And the one reason that we always see this more than anything, is the fact that our fathers are in jail. And this is where this piece actually started from, which we'll read later. I wrote this piece, and it is actually called Taking Fathers as a memorial. Well, now it's a memorial.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, this is True Indeed.
And this is Femi the Dry Fish.
And you're listening to
Shots and Shenanigans
on BeExposedRadio.com. Yeah!
Boy!
It's me? Oh! Well, I'm sorry.
It's me?
I'm sorry. Welcome to Sunset Soul, y'all. I was hearing the wrong clip in my ear. And this rain is not helping. And y'all enjoying this? Y'all not enjoying the rain?
The rain is beautiful. The fallen trees are a problem. My street is blocked by a huge tree. There was a tree on the light rail train.
No, you said on the.
It was
not
on the
track.
train.
Oh,
the train was stopped. There was a tree across the train, and it knocked another tree across 83. So 2 of the 3 lanes on 83 are blocked.
Excuse me. Yeah. So that's where the traffic.
Yeah, not fun. Not fun at all.
So let's stay away from 83, y'all. Anybody driving?
No, it's just the portion of 83 going south when you approach the Cold Spring exit.
Stay away from that part. I'm glad I actually was coming from Eastern Avenue. I moved. Finally, let me tell you, this was one of the most difficult moves ever. Why you ain't come help me, Mr. Warren?
Well, I didn't know until you moved in.
All right. Well, next go round, I'm going to need all the help I can get.
The Bible says, "Ask and ye shall receive."
You're right. I didn't. I probably didn't ask. So let's start again because I was caught off guard. Welcome to Sunset Soul.
She don't come here ragging on people.
Sunset Soul. I'm your host, Love Dawn, and I have with me Miss Lisha G, my co-host, and Mr. Warren Woodson. Y'all should know Warren. He's been here several times.
Better know me.
That's a regular.
We have Mr. Desmond en route. What you just heard us say, the traffic is kind of crazy out there. So we're gonna give him a few minutes. Last week's show, what did we discuss last week?
Divorce and separation.
Yeah, how much is too much?
Yeah.
When is your tap out? I think Mr. Nate from the Artist Exchange was in here with us, and he felt as though we were very accommodating women.
But you know what? I think that has a lot to do with our upbringing, especially growing up apostolic, because divorce was not something that was
right.
We don't do that in the apostolic faith. You get excommunicated.
Yeah, you in it. You married. You in it. But this week show topic is about abstinence, or we're talking sex tonight. But we're gonna keep it PG-ish.
I'll try.
We're gonna try to keep it PG-ish.
I think the whole concept of sex has a stigma. I posted a couple of things on Facebook, and people were like, "What's going on with you? Like, I just turned into some trollop or something."
That's the same thing. Leslie G, Leslie G's been with us several times for the show. She also said the same thing. She was like, "You been posting some crazy stuff on there." I said, "No,
like, all I did
that was the show.
Sex.
That's what the show." It's like, when did sex become so taboo? Like, when is it?
It's always been taboo. To be honest, let's be realistic.
We're
actually just getting to the place where people talk about it openly, but it's almost as if you have to be such an extremist to talk about it now. Yeah. That it, that's where the stigma comes in.
Or you're talking about it in like in a defense mode, like you automatically think people feel some kind of way. So you can't sit down and have like an educated conversation. You have to be more of a defensive. This is what it is. This is how I am. Don't judge me. I haven't judged you yet, ma'am. I'm just
right.
asking.
I think there's
Give me a minute.
Some irony to that nowadays, where it's everywhere. You can turn on, public television, and you see sex everywhere. So I think it's kind of ironic.
You would think, right? You would think that because it's so in your face, that the conversation should be pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, you got them talking about sex education. What is that, 6th grade now?
Yeah.
I think it's 6th grade.
Not now, because when I was in 6th grade, we had sex education. So it's not. So
this should not be. It shouldn't be such a taboo, especially with adults. We should be able to have an
key word
dialogue.
Yeah, everybody's not mature.
Yeah.
Just because you've reached a certain age does not mean that you're mature.
Well, that's true.
And I mean, I think a lot of people though are very worried about what other people think of them.
But they 9 times out of 10 they having sex too.
But do you know how many people were like, Lisha, you gonna be in this show? Like, you think that's okay? That's acceptable? You're elder in the church, and I'm like, that's the problem now. The church does not want to come out and have any discussion about sex.
And then our youth get it. They're gonna get the information one way or the other, but then they're gonna be ill-informed because they're talking to people who don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Or people that are afraid to really be honest about things, because they may very well be very knowledgeable, but they're not gonna share that because I don't want people to think that I was out there. No, we don't. I don't see you like a god anyway. So,
oh my Lord,
that's a whole nother topic.
But today's show is more so based around abstinence. Well, the question of abstinence, and is it necessarily a healthy, or is it a harmful thing for you as females? Let me say, y'all, I know y'all hear that thunder out here, and I'm trying to continue with the show, but it's catching my attention. It's so loud.
I know, it's kind of like,
it's scary. So bear with me. I want to know, because we have as parents or religious leaders and so forth, we
don't point at me and call me a religious. You're a religious leader too.
We religious leaders.
Thank you.
We teach, or we at least encourage, not necessarily teach, but we encourage people to wait. We of course encourage our youth, our children to wait for marriage. 9 times out of 10, it's not necessarily happening the way we want it to, but we at least put it out there that that's our desire. My thing is, do we actually know what we're asking them to do, or we're just asking them to do this because that's the norm. That's what we want.
I think today, that question, I think the norm has taken on a whole new meaning. So I mean, for me, I think it's appropriate for them to tell them to wait, and I mean, it's just to be sure that they know, because it's so much out here now, you know, and you know, I mean, just with the whole, you know, transgender movement and this and that and this, and it's so much information, and like you said, it's some especially children can be ill-informed. So they may think that, you know, well, a traditional relationship may be outdated, maybe that's played out now, you know, so maybe that's not the thing to do, so to speak. So I think you just I think you need folks need to talk to their children and just certainly wait and just, you know.
But this is the thing with telling our, of course we're going to tell our children to wait, but what about our adults that, you know, these are our friends and family members, like, you know, you're dealing with leaders and stuff like that who are telling people wait till you get married. They're not children. They are knowledgeable of what they're walking into, but we still, you know, push or celibacy.
And that's another thing, abstinence versus celibacy, and the two, they're not the same thing.
I can't hear you.
Abstinence and celibacy, it's not the same.
So, okay, so the definition, okay. The definition via Mr. Google, because you know,
there you go.
I'm the Google lady. I will research. I literally just wrote it down. Now I gotta find it. Okay. Here's the celibacy versus abstinence situations.
What I do?
Sir, I took it off. Judging me. Our producer just came in here and okay, here you go. All right, abstinence. Abstinence and celibacy are usually interchangeable, but sexual abstinence refers to someone who chooses to refrain from sex, whereas celibacy refers to someone living a single life who is unmarried. And you were saying that you feel like celibacy is more of a what was it?
Spiritual thing. Okay. It's something that's connected to kind of something that's given as instruction from a higher power or a higher being. You typically hear about celibacy through the church and Buddhism, Hinduism, and a lot of the religious and philosophical sects. They talk a lot about how refraining from sexual activity actually empowers you spiritually.
Okay.
So the term celibacy has been known to be ascribed to those of a religious or spiritual aspect, as opposed to abstinence, which typically when you look up abstinence, it's always teen abstinence, as if they assume that that's something that we promote as an option to not having sex. You don't have sex or you practice abstinence. And it's practicing abstinence, and it's always with a purpose.
So, okay. So, a person who is abstaining from sex, that's via choice. Celibacy is more so, you're saying, the spiritual aspect of it. So, it's not a person that is celibate is choosing to abstain. You don't feel like that's...
Well, I think that's a part of it.
Okay.
A part of celibacy is the abstaining from sex, but the difference between abstinence and celibacy is the why. So why are you abstaining from sex? I'm abstaining from sex because that's the only way to prove that the only way to guarantee that I won't get pregnant and guarantee that I won't get an STD. So I choose to practice abstinence.
Like you said, the religious one, like nuns, they're not necessarily concerned about STDs. They are committed to, they've chosen to marry.
So they have taken a vow of celibacy. And in that statement, to take a vow is to make a promise to someone or something.
Okay.
So whatever that someone or something is that higher being or the quote-unquote authority that's given.
Okay. So let me ask a question. Well, let's dive into my intro questions. Would you rather give up sex? This is just a fun question, or your non-dominant arm for the rest of your life? Would you be willing to give up sex?
What does this have to do with abstinence?
No, I'm asking because this is we're going into choice. This is now choice. So we're dealing with the abstinence part. This is choice. Would you choose, if you had to choose, to either give up sex for whatever reason, be it moral, fear, FCD, whatever it is? Would you choose to give up sex or your non-dominant arm? So if you're left-handed, you'll give up your right hand.
I'm sex. I'm giving up sex.
You would give up. You would keep both of your ligaments.
Yeah.
I'm not understanding why I would have to do such a thing. That's just,
Well, this is it's a measure of the importance of sex upon your life.
I feel like I'm just being set up. Like,
let me tell you, because look, the answers are from what I'm reading were basically half and half. Half of the people said they would give up their non-dominant arm. They don't use it. That's what it's ridiculous. As ridiculous as it sounds, that's what they say. I would rather give up the arm I'm not using than to give up sex. But so that says that sex plays a very major key.
And I will say that sex is very important. However, I think that is a ridiculous request to make.
Well, you don't know.
Ridiculous.
Listen, that movie Saw, they was presented with questions like that all the time. I mean, hey, you never know
Rachel.
You never know.
Rachel
you would.
She needs to bake her cakes. She needs both our arms.
So then that says that for you, sex is not high on the Richter scale. Because she's talking about baking cakes.
Yeah, like.
So to her, it's like it's not there. Somebody else is like, that's not even a question.
But if you were to ask me something like that, and you have to answer this question within the next 30 seconds, I'm gonna blow your head off. I'm gonna be dead because I don't know how to make that.
So then that means that it's high enough on.
It is very high, but it's not high enough that I'm gonna
debatable.
say. Yeah, it's not high enough that I'm gonna say I'll give up a limb. However,
Monty, you ain't even here and you doing the most. The labels was off the bottle, and Lisha, you can hear her. Go to sleep. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's
listen. All right.
It's sex for me.
You would.
You would pass up the sex.
You would pass.
I would, yeah.
You would keep your arms.
I would.
Wait.
For me.
No. Here's my question. Okay. How do you guarantee that you're going to pass up the sex unless you are removing? If I'm removing my arm, why am I not sewing up or cutting off something else? Because just because he said he'll give up the sex doesn't mean that he will. So.
This is only about the measure. This is just to see where you are, where sex is on your scale.
Because my question now to my dear friend is, are you willing to cut off one for the other?
That's what he said.
No, cut it off.
Explain.
No, I think she means like take a razor and cut it off.
Yes.
The arm or the castration? How does that go with the question of the arm? Ain't nobody cutting off.
No, I'm trying to see the severity. Will you keep the arm and cut that off?
Well, ain't nobody. We're not going that deep into it.
This is what I want to understand. The severity.
Ain't nobody going to cut off their area.
Okay. I can't even get myself to say it. I'm blushing.
Where's
the thunder?
Because God is like this. Okay, this got real.
I would keep my arm. I would give up sex.
It's just. I mean, yeah. It's just to me, it's an easy choice because it's like. It's just defense mechanisms, all kinds of scenarios coming to mind where you just,
Rachel says, sew her up. It don't bother me.
Oh, Rachel.
No, let me tell you. Because how do you know how easy it will be for you to get it with one arm? I mean, like, that's a challenge right there. Like, I'm not going to take the
2017?
You're right. You can get a prosthetic.
Byron said if it comes to cutting off his penis versus his arm, the arm is going to go.
Right. Well, that's unfair.
And this is why I wanted to make that statement, because how do you determine whether or not that's
okay? We can go to commercial break before we leave.
I'm with you, Byron.
The question on the floor is: do you think abstinence is easier for men or women? When we come back, I want to discuss that. Do you feel like abstinence is easier for men or women? If you wake up.
Free stuff for you just for listening to this station. Yo, we got your attention? Here's how it works. You click on the radio loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then you keep on listening like you already do. But now you are...
Well, here's what you meant.
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to get yourself noticed? Well then, why not sponsor us? There are lots of different options to choose from commercial spots and on-air shoutouts, to interviews, and even putting your logo on our website. Don't miss these great opportunities to get noticed. Check out our sponsorship packages on our Facebook page or on our website, BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show.
I'm just thankful this year I've dealt with, some growing pains, and I've overcome some things, and I've also, accomplished some things in the process. I've learned some things. I learned that everybody loves your work until they got to pay for it. That's what I learned. I learned everybody loves what you do.
The pay?
I mean,
not always.
Listen, the Bible says money answereth all things.
Well,
okay, and there is a place. There is a place where finances is necessary. And when you got kids, and when you got a wife, and then you doing everything, and you top dog at what you do, especially when you weren't in the same place like with this radio show. You ain't in the same place you were a year ago. Should nobody be coming on the show and not donating to your show?
Can you say that on my show?
Should nobody be coming to your show?
Can you say that in the middle of the live?
Yeah, make that a promo, please.
Should nobody come on this show without donating?
That is a nice commercial.
I don't care if it's $20.
Donate.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
And we have a full house tonight. My co-host Leslie Swirl and Miss Lisha G, y'all already know.
Hey.
Tony Bling, y'all already know. But I have with me Mr. Paul Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
And my brother, Mr. Kevin Little here.
Well, all right.
So I'm quite sure this is going to be a hot topic. I'm very excited about today's show. And I'm also excited because for the first time, the men outnumber the women.
That is true. Wow, I didn't even notice that.
Finally. Because that took some... This is the first time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was like, wait a minute, maybe I messed up. Finally, the men outnumber the women. And I really wanted that. More so for all of the shows for the month, but definitely for this show. And then we got our producer and our engineer, so we got a lot of testosterone in here today. We might gotta pull it up, but that's all right because we strong. We strong
with a C.
With a strong.
Yes. Strong.
I mean, how you pronounce it?
Strong.
There you go. So last week's topic was...
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to get yourself noticed? Well then, why not sponsor us? There are lots of different options to choose from commercial spots and on-air shoutouts, to interviews, and even putting your logo on our website. Don't miss these great opportunities to get noticed. Check out our sponsorship packages on our Facebook page or on our website, BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We're back. Thank you so much for staying tuned. As I said earlier, we have with us Mr. Desmond. Guy. I knew I was going to forget it.
I'm sorry, let me do this right. Guy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Guy. Thank you very much. Before you came, the subject, the question on the floor was, we're talking about abstinence.
Yes.
Whether or not it's necessarily helpful or harmful.
Okay.
And to get a measure of where sex is on your Richter scale, the question was, would you rather give up sex or your non-dominant arm for the rest of your life?
I'm definitely giving up that right arm.
So you're going to give up the arm?
Yeah, I'm giving up the arm. I mean, I'd be incomplete, but if I ain't having sex. I mean, if I'm giving up my arm, Is my junk still working? Yeah, can I say junk?
Well, let Miss Lisha, she cutting off parts.
No, because I need to know are you giving up sex with no masturbation and stuff? Or is it what are you doing? Are you
so is I'm cutting off my arm or cutting off my penis? I guess
that's what I want to know. What's the extreme?
Right. The extreme would be one for the other. I think Monty said that cut off both arms and castration or sex. Like, I don't understand.
Monty?
Wait a minute, cut off both arms, castration,
or
sex?
How about cutting off both arms or keeping your genitalia and you're single? So basically, it was like, would you be willing to cut off
lose arms or lose your penis? Yeah, I'm probably gonna lose my penis on that.
Right. Okay. Well,
both arms.
Yeah. Both arms is too much. You know, too much.
Right.
Like even if you took my left one,
dominant. They threw y'all straight under the bus. They give you no chance.
We just keep.
So
how about you just cut off a foot and
right.
I can still keep my arms.
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna give up a foot.
How about if just a few fingers, just these pinkies? I can give up these pinkies.
Yeah,
pinkies.
Yeah, I give a pinky. I give a pinky for my penis.
So now y'all wanna like wager on whether
Nah, I really want to wager because like I might need my fingers, like to pleasure myself. That's what I do.
Compromise. Okay. You don't need your fingers.
Oh no, yes I do. I mean to pleasure myself. I don't like when a woman touch me like that. Like that's my time.
Oh, well. Okay. Well,
yeah,
you want it the way you want
your arm then.
Right. So take this right on.
But that's why they say non-dominant.
Who's asking these questions anyway?
Keisha.
Google.
Questions like why I got choose between my arm and my penis.
This love Dawn. All love Dawn.
This is so we can know how important it is to you. Because the fact, like Lisha debated, she didn't give an answer. Her debate.
I'm not going to give an answer.
It shows.
I don't think I should have to make a decision such as this.
Very important.
I don't know.
Both are very important.
Right, but some people who don't look at sex as that's not a big thing to them. It's not even a question. Oh, I'm keeping my arms.
Right.
You know, so that's just the measure. It is.
Sex is very important to me.
Sex is very important. That's why. Did I say?
So imagine if you had to give up sex before you had kids. Like, where's your immortality? So okay, so may I say something? So I don't know what y'all know about Roots, but y'all heard about Kunta Kinte, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Kunta, when he first got there, he was a slave and he kept running away. He went and talked to other slaves, right? So by the time they got tired of him running, we know that they castrated his foot, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he said 3 minutes. You know, they took his foot, right? Mm-hmm. But what they don't say is they gave him a choice: your foot or your penis.
They did give him that.
Yeah.
Yes, a foot or your penis. Oh. And what he choose?
He chose that foot.
We see him limping around like he was Martin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's how important. That's how not sex, but that's how important your lineage is, man. Like I'm gonna lose a foot. That's your immortality. True. Think about how many generations before you.
Well, I'll be gone, so I won't know what exactly they're doing. How you know they're gonna hold up the end of the bargain?
Well, you won't have
risk your foot.
You won't have no hope.
But I don't know what they doing. Are they gonna hold up my lineage, right?
But what he's saying is you wouldn't have no choice. No, I mean it wouldn't be anything to consider.
Right.
You can't do anything.
So you'd rather have a foot and no chance, maybe not your first kid, but like your great grandkids could be great. So you'd rather give that up for a foot?
So what you're saying is, okay, so let me ask, so the arm or the foot after children, that makes a difference.
No, the arm or foot before children.
Right, I'm saying so.
The penis or the foot.
So after your children, then you
now
I can give a penis up, but if it was before my children,
then it would be Okay, got it. Gotcha. So your lineage weighs in. It's not sex. It's
it's my lineage. Right.
I get it.
But I mean, I like to feel when I come to. I mean, I want that. You know.
Okay. My kid's still small, so again, that's debatable. Because if somebody would have asked me now to go back and do it again, I might be like, let's talk about it. Because they get on my nerves.
No, I wouldn't make a choice.
But see,
I wouldn't make the choice.
What I'm saying is, you just looking at the kids now.
Right.
Kids, 4 kids from now could be awesome.
Right.
And that's part of you.
I'm saying making a choice, emotional choice. Like now, because I'm dealing with anger, I would be like, well, let's talk.
Well, if I was already abstinent, I'd just tell you take my penis. You know what I mean? I'm not getting it anyway. I mean, just take the penis. I'm not getting it anyway.
Well, we put a lot of time into that question. So right before the commercial break, the question on the floor was, do you feel like abstinence is easier for men or women? Is it more easier for one gender than the other, in your opinion?
Oh, it's definitely easier for women.
Why does everybody think that?
Why?
Because you know why? You want? I'm gonna let one say something.
Go ahead. I say it's easier for men. You know, I mean, just my Oh no, that's a tough one. I can't.
You're just saying it's easier for men to just be the odd man out. To be
Well,
like,
no. I mean, because I can only speak for myself, and I think I would be, resolved enough to, if I set my mind to a certain limit of not having sex, I would be able to do that. And it's just, a personal challenge to myself. To telling myself if I set out to do something, I'll do it, and to do it. But at the same time, I can't speak for Desi. I can't speak for women or any woman.
So basically, you're saying men because you feel like it's easy for you. I do.
I will agree with them because I believe now if they made that choice, because men have a lot more discipline to what it is they say they're going to do than women.
I agree.
We will break down and go against our moral standing for an emotional tie.
Okay.
A lot quicker than men will.
Listen, y'all, we got to go to another commercial break. We're still reading your comments here. If you want to give anything to the conversation, you can call us at 410-702-5657. We'll write it in the live feed. The question on the floor right now is, do you think abstinence is easier for men or women? When we come back, we want to get into why a person would choose abstinence, and do you think it's worth it in the long run? We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Me.
You know me time it perfect.
That wasn't about the time.
Didn't get a chance to tune in last week? Well, here's what you missed on the Artist Exchange radio show.
Being a stage actor, how has that prepared you for comedy?
Oh man, I think that being a thespian definitely gave me a head start and an advantage over most of the guys who just go right into comedy. I mean, it definitely helps with stage presence, memorization. Just a lot of comedians in the city, they don't consider every aspect of the performance, like what you're wearing, how you say certain words, and being a stage actor, like I definitely, I'm thinking about every part of the joke when I write it or when I perform it. I try to do it as a performer without looking too stagey.
Tune in every Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. and every Saturday 12 to 2 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com. This is the Artist Exchange. Real artists, real talk.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show.
I'm just thankful this year I've dealt with some growing pains, and I've overcome some things, and I've also accomplished some things in the process. I've learned some things. I learned that everybody loves your work until they got to pay for it. That's what I learned. That's what I learned. I learned everybody loves what you do.
About the pay?
I mean,
not always.
Listen, the Bible says money answereth all things.
Well,
okay, and there is a place. There is a place where finances is necessary. And when you got kids and when you got a wife and then you doing everything and you top dog at what you do, especially when you weren't in the same place like with this radio show, you ain't in the same place you were a year ago. Should nobody be coming on the show and not donating to your show?
Can you say that on my show?
Should nobody be coming to your show?
Can you say that in the middle of the live?
Yeah, make that a promo, please.
Should nobody come on this show without donating?
That is a nice commercial.
I don't care if it's $20.
Donate.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We're back. The question on the floor was, what were some reasons when you choose working longer? We talked about it earlier, moral reasons, spiritual reasons. Fear.
Fear what?
Catching something? STD?
So health-wise, as far as like sexually transmitted diseases.
Right.
Because there's a lot of fears out there.
Huh?
There's a lot of fears out there that will keep people from having sex.
But what you were asking, what you guys were talking about was, is there a difference between abstinence and just a dry spell?
Well, before you go forward, because we put the question out there and we never really went all the way around the table, and some of the viewers have opinions on whether or not it's easier for men or women.
Okay. I'm sorry. This is Be Exposed. I don't say it on that one.
Okay. So what Byron Smith said. I'll just put his whole government out there. Byron said, I think it's a toss-up where it may be or it may seem easier for men. He's noticed that a lot of women are going longer without any sexual connection. So he doesn't know if it's an issue of celibacy or the fact that women are just tired of the nonsense from guys. But he guess that's a whole nother argument. And I would agree, but I think that because women have the ability to set the tone, the sexual tone for a relationship, that would make it easier for them to avoid those type of encounters. But when it comes to the concept of making a decision to refrain altogether, I think that it could be a toss-up, but men typically do have more of a, more of a
I mean,
drive
I think the difference, what I feel like it's women, is because I do think that men are, determined when they put their minds to it. I do believe, but I think that they are impulsive in their decisions sometimes. I think women make an emotional decision, but they commit. And I think because they commit to a thing, that's what makes it a little easier.
What you think, bro? No. I think the only reason I said that it's easy for women is because, in piggybacking off what you said in terms of the emotional, us as men, we don't need no emotional. It makes it tougher for us. You need emotional, so if you get burnt too more, I'm just not doing that. I know where that road led. That's just my opinion.
I agree. So we all say women outside of Mr. Warren. You say
men. I say men.
You say men.
So it's 2 and 2, and yeah.
We right back at.
So we gotta draw straws.
I didn't. Yeah.
But I'm let's just all. It's 2 of it. So let's everybody just commit to celibacy, and let's see who goes.
I'm married. I'm not doing that.
You can't do it.
But even if I wasn't married, I'm not committing to that. Like I need that practice.
Well, you already said your lineage is important to you.
Right. No, I was just giving theoretic, like me personally.
Okay. So, anybody else had a comment on the men or women in being exposed?
But if I may say, I do think it's really hard for women because the same thing that makes it easier is the same thing making it hard.
Exactly.
So because you're emotional, I can be like, I ain't doing it.
Oh, yeah.
But because I'm emotional, I want a connection, and I might be kicking with the guy, and I might think that's how I can get him connected a little better.
Yeah. Right, that is true. Wait a minute, if I pull myself
right. You better not.
Really bad.
Look, it got real. Give me that coffee. Can I get a cup of coffee? It's getting ready to get real good.
But I'm saying, I agree. I feel like most women have made a choice, made that choice at some point in time, even if it was in your naive teenage years.
So can I get like 30 seconds? What I want to ask is so when a man make a choice to be celibate, right? Or let's just say to abstain. Like why it seem like it get hard? Like women just be coming at you. If you tell women that you abstaining, oh, that's different.
Because it's a challenge.
Yeah, it's to test the discipline right there.
Yeah.
Let's see what this dude is really
and
about.
That's with anything. Do you know that when you decide to give up, let's say for instance, I go to work and I decide I'm fasting this week. That's the day that they're bringing in food every week.
So
it's just.
So I'm on the flip side of that. I decided I'm spending money on food, right? I've been getting free meals all week.
Exactly.
That's just how. Yeah.
That's just how temptation works.
Life, yeah. And it's not even. I wonder if we just notice it when we're not doing it. Like sometimes those things may take place.
It's like buying that car. Then you say you want a car, you start seeing it.
Right. We just notice it all of us. It could have already been taking place, but that's debatable. People will say. I'm gonna come down to that. Do you consider sex a need or want?
It is a very strong want.
Okay.
Want.
You think it's a want?
It's a want. Yeah.
I think it depends.
I agree.
I honestly believe that sex.
It's always gray area.
She's not gonna write.
What color's the wall, Lisha?
I believe that for men, sex is a need, and I say that because men have been given the charge to be fruitful and multiply. So it's in your nature as men to spread seed. So I want to say that I dig myself, but it is a need.
What's that?
However,
she go to church.
Yeah, when I start going to church, they ring the bell.
Byron, he says a want.
But no, I really do believe that it's is something that men need to do. They need to spread seed, but because they have a level, that you have a level of discipline. You're not an animal. You do have the ability to refrain and not go out of control. But sex is a need for men.
That don't make me not an animal. Just make me an animal with a conscience.
I don't think that we're the same as animals, but that's a whole nother debate that we
I don't think that's
You ever seen a
fair.
rabbit have sex?
Huh?
You ever seen a rabbit have sex?
No.
Oh.
I don't want to talk about it. That's a whole other conversation.
But I don't think that's fair to say that it's a need just for men. Like, why is it not a need for women as well? What makes it only a need for men?
Because you don't have a penis.
Exactly.
You don't have a penis. You
We
ever
don't
had a
have
penis?
I don't think it. What
we don't have seeds.
Okay,
we don't have
okay,
seeds
you know
that
what?
require our seeds. I mean, our eggs do not require fertilization, because if they did, then we wouldn't pass them and generate new ones. But for men, their seed, the seed is gonna come. It's gonna spill, whether they like it or not.
So you've been.
That's why even
Wait a
if
minute.
they
Explain
refrain,
what you're saying. The seed is going to spill.
even
whether
if
they
they
like it or not.
refrain,
Okay.
there's this what they used to call it nocturnal.
Wet dreams.
Yeah, wet dreams.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
The male body is going to produce and it's going to come out either way.
But a woman's body does the same thing.
But
You
we're
can't
not expelling
procreate.
seeds.
You can't procreate with
Right.
that type of fluid.
We're not expelling seeds. We're discharging unfertilized eggs, which
Okay.
means that we can go through our life discharging unfertilized eggs and nothing's going to happen. Men go through their life sending out seeds. Now, whether those seeds actually connect to an egg is irrelevant. That's in their makeup. Their body is generating seeds. They're created to be fruitful and multiply.
But I guess I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I just don't think it's one-sided. I think that all of it is expelling. You're expelling. I'm expelling. Nothing is connected.
But it's a matter of what the
So if I may, that's like me being you saying the feeling that way about a man and a penis is like a man speaking on one being pregnant.
Okay.
You're speaking from ignorance. Have you ever
No,
had a
I'm
penis?
not disagreeing with what she's saying. I do believe that a man that is a need. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying I don't agree that it's not a need for a woman. I
But
believe
that's
it's
what
a
I'm
need.
not. But that's what I'm disagreeing with. What
Okay.
I'm saying to you is you can say that because you've never had a penis.
Nor do I want it.
Right. So like if
Right,
by you
no.
being pregnant, right? And I'm talking because even though I don't have it physically, I go through some things.
I agree.
I go through some more. But if I start talking about, you're gonna be looking at me like, yo, what you done felt?
So my ignorance is of the spillage of seed.
Well, no, it's not even ignorance.
ignorance-
It's a matter of perspective.
Right. So the way I'm saying ignorant, and I don't hope that's offensive to you.
It's
You know?
not. Oh,
Okay.
no.
When I'm saying ignorant, is you saying it's you feel like it's a need for a woman as much as a man, right? That's what I'm saying. Like,
So because
no.
I'm not a man, I can't say it's on the
That's
same.
just my
So
stance.
let me speak
Right.
from the woman only. I'm gonna need you not to do that. I'm sorry. Let me speak
But
from
does
the
that make
woman's
sense, what I'm saying?
Yes, I agree
Okay.
with that. I don't know
All right.
but I can speak from the woman's perspective.
Indeed.
That I believe that it's a need for a woman as well. Maybe not equal,
Amen.
but I don't know
Amen.
what an
Amen.
equal.
But as a woman that has, I believe that sex is for me personally, sex is very important. It's very high on my list of to-dos, even though I'm not right now. It's on a list of to-dos. But my need for sex isn't really a need for sex. It's a need for connection.
I agree with that.
So I don't really have a need for sex. I have a need for emotional connection that I get through a sexual encounter. That's why when we have sex with people that we're not really connected to, and then we feel a lack. We go through an emotional.
So think about the woman that supposedly grows this piece of skin on before she's pregnant. She has this piece of skin on her vagina.
The hymen.
I don't know how true it is, but is that true?
Yes, it is. It's a hymen.
So that in itself letting you know it's not a need.
Exactly.
Because you got skin over it.
Right.
That skin don't need to be broken.
Right.
It's intended to be broken.
Why?
Notice what you said.
You just said it.
Intent and need are two different things.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Let me go to because
Need is air.
McLean's Couch. McLean's Couch. They have a show here.
Okay.
Comes on Tuesday nights at 9. Thank you for tuning
Mercy,
in.
mercy.
She said it is one. I'm sorry. It is one of the human's basic need is to have sex, and a woman have a need to have sex is not about pregnancy. So she's saying yes, she agrees that a woman also has a need.
Okay.
Then she said, have you ever seen a woman that haven't had sex in 6 months?
Yep. Yes.
All of y'all can say yes because I have.
So but what I'm saying, right? So not to be much at my job, I have a woman like that, and she a young woman too. I mean, I'm talking about like.
Is she approved? Is that what you're saying?
Huh?
You saying she's approved?
She's not approved. No. She really not her, but it's like, nah.
But did she come off like angry or unhappy? Or
unhappy initially until she met this guy recently. Well, let me say unhappy. Disappointed.
Well, here's the thing.
Disenchanted with men.
Well, see, is it? But all of these things go back to the reasons behind why people choose to be celibate or abstain. There's a reason why, and the why has a lot to do with what comes after that. If I'm not having sex because I ain't getting none, the response you get from me is going to be totally different from somebody that feels that I don't want to have sex because I want to get in tune with myself.
Right, I tried that. It only lasts about 35 days. It always gets broke after 35 days.
Rachel, go ahead. No way.
No, I think it's a want. I mean, I think it's you know, when you're with that other person and you two all together, and you know, and the energy and the emotion and the vibes, and you're all one, you know, you want to do that. It's not like, oh, we need to do this right now. You know, you want to. I want to, you know, do what I want to do with you, and you want to do what you. And you want me to do what I want to do to you. So it's a want. It's a one thing.
So why do you think that men have sexual responses to the things that they see unintentionally? If you feel like it's something that you just want, you're not even thinking about it, but you see something before you even have a chance to process it in your frontal lobe, your body's already responding to it.
It's just like breathing air.
It's natural, right? So why wouldn't we now understand that to be something that our natural bodies need consciously?
It depends.
We don't need it.
That depends. I think that depends on the situation. I mean, at the same time too, you can have a guy. Take me for example. Say I'm looking at the Super Bowl. And I see a Victoria's Secret model commercial come on. Man,
let me make a correction.
Okay.
McLean's couch, that was the husband, the alpha male of the duo that was speaking. They said it was a need for a woman, Mr. Brahma Bull. So I wanted to make that correction.
Brahma Bull, that's such a sexy name.
Oh my. So look,
the male is responsible.
We've been talking about abstinence, and we're gonna go back into that. But let's get into some of the health benefits of sex.
Sex.
Well, what century are we in? Because yes, it's definitely a lot of benefits to not get. Yeah, right.
No benefits. She wants to talk about benefits.
This is benefits too. We're gonna go back to abstinence. Yes.
Oh, that's good for your immune system.
That is definitely one of the
burn a lot of calories too.
Guess what,
yes, sir. 3 minutes.
Abstinence is also good for the immune
system. It is all. We're gonna get into that. There are some things about abstinence that are good. I tell you what. Let's just before we go into it. This is the benefits of sex. My scribble is on both pages.
That's the benefits.
So this is the benefits of abstinence.
So I think with abstinence is really beneficial with your mind and your soul.
I agree. I think that it does bring, but if when you look at this, when we get into it, a lot of it kind of mirrors each other. I guess it depends on how you how you look into it. But okay, so that was the first thing. Number one is exactly what you said. It helps your immune system. It keeps your immune system
because
humming.
Your body got to fight off all those viruses you're getting from all these.
Oh my goodness! First of all,
or not? Is this 4 against right now?
This is 4.
4 action.
No, 4
sex.
Okay, yes, this is why it is healthy. Why we should not just dismiss it all willy nilly.
No, your body has to increase its ability to fight off infection because you're adding foreign substances to your body. That is actually truth.
You can say that, but that's not why it boosts your immune system. It just all the good stuff is flowing all in there.
What's the good stuff?
I think she got lost for words at the moment. All that stuff just flowing in there.
It defends against germs, viruses, and other intruders.
Because some foreign
if
penis.
you listen, but you know what though? Let's not even when it comes down to the whole logistics of it all. Just simply put, when you feel good, when you're happy, you're healthier. Period. Like your whole mindset. Like it's just take away the whole.
Oh, you just became Dr. Phil.
Yep.
No, but that's true. When you are in a good place, you are essentially healthier.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
you're saying you can't be in a good place if you abstinent?
I'm not saying,
and that's
but
what I'm saying.
no, but I think that but then that to me is more of a spiritual connection, which still puts you in a good place. You know, that just depends on how.
But still put you in a good place, but you wasn't as enthusiastic.
I am not because I'm not pro abstinence.
Oh, okay.
I'm pro-choice, but I'm not pro-abstinence. I mean, choice. When I say pro-choice, I mean pro-choice of you can choose to not have sex. I'm not here for it. I'm not saying this is what you should or should not do. I just think.
What you think, Lisha?
Celibacy is beautiful.
What you think you should or you shouldn't do?
I can't tell other people what to do outside of.
I
mean, in my own opinion,
Yeah,
I can tell you what the scripture.
We gotta go to commercial. We just
bring the bell. Bring the bell a few times.
We're gonna go to commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna get into some of the health benefits of having a healthy sex life and what you might be missing out on when you sleeping by yourself. We'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange radio show.
So you're your biggest asset. Mm-hmm. You have to practice self-care. Every entrepreneur has to practice self-care. You have to release yourself from toxic situations.
Explain to us real quick, what is a toxic situation?
A toxic situation is something that will control your mind, something that hurts you, something that you have to battle. You know, toxic. You know, hurt. If you're in a toxic situation, if you get hurt, if you get pain, if you get struggle, right? And if your spirit is does not align correctly, that may be a toxic situation. So when I say you make that jump when your values don't align, you make decisions based on your values. And if those decisions don't align with your values, then that's when you say no.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., live on BigExposedRadio.com.
Even as a comedian, if I say a joke and it just might not fit your cup of tea, but it's mine, that's that's what a comedian is supposed to do.
But people forget
everybody's not going to find your jokes funny. They better find mine funny.
But they forget that though. They really forget that. They forget that but it's your view. That's why they didn't fire her. Yeah. Because her viewpoint is controversial.
Her view. That's the view she sees.
Right.
Everybody is clear to her.
Like they did their reaction to
cellophane.
They did the reaction to the Chris Rock Oscar, and they were talking about Stacey Dash, and I don't think she agrees with Stacey Dash, but she pointed her out as somebody who has an opinion that's just different from everybody else's.
Her opinion is just stupid, though. Stacey Dash she's like a dash. Let's just move on.
I think she's intelligent, but her
You're still going.
opinion.
We're gonna move on. Stacey Dash doesn't need to be talked about. She's irrelevant.
You said her name like 3 times already.
She's irrelevant.
I said it once.
Dash. ... So I couldn't have meant that more. She is so irrelevant. I'm not even gonna say her name. But we're here every Tuesday, and we talk about people just like that at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Before a commercial break, we was talking about the health benefits of sex, and one was it boosts your immune system. What they say, it keeps your immune system humming. I feel like some of this verbiage is
humming. It keeps your immune system humming.
That's what they say. Keep it humming. It boosts your libido.
True. He's still humming.
It boosts your libido.
I was trying to help you sell it.
Having sex will make sex better. The more you do, the more you know what to do.
Is that
basically?
Well,
yes. Practice makes more practice.
Practice makes more practice.
Yes.
So, I actually agree with that because you have people. Let's just use. I moved to North Carolina some time ago, and you look at a lot of the. You look at a lot of the relationships, and I'm just using down south because I see it more down there than I do here up north, and they are sometimes intimate, but they don't have the connection. It's kind of like they'll say intimate. It's not.
Which means sometimes intimate.
Well, they'll say. No, you gotta cut the volume all the way down. My bad. Sorry. No, I mean I can't because it's going back.
I'm sorry, that's radio ignorance. My bad.
But I'm saying like they'll say that they are still intimate, like you know they still have sex in their relationship, but it's not what it used to be, you know, or it would be, you know, it's they'll not have sex. They're not losing their arm. Put it like that. It's not high up on their scale to them. And I think that comes from them not having it, like them losing it along the way. So with you going for a long space of time of not having sex, you just tend to lose interest.
So therefore, in their life, it's not a need.
I agree. But I'm saying the benefit of sex is it boosts your libido, meaning that if you continue your
the more
flow, your regiment, your libido stays.
Y'all using some real descriptive words.
I mean, because you know most married people have like Sex Wednesday or something.
And that's like so sad. I say this all the time.
What? Sex Wednesday?
I don't know what you call it.
I say it all the time. It's sad because people do get married and sex just doesn't become as important because it's readily available all the time. So it's not a pressing issue to try to get it because you know you can get it. I'm not saying everybody because there are special cases. I want to have sex regularly, well into my 90s, until my hip break. That's what I want to do. Once I get married, yes.
Got some Bengay ice.
So as a man,
you said what?
So I
yes, so in the vows.
Can I ask a question?
Okay.
It's kind of on the vein of what y'all saying. As a man, sometimes it is commonplace because it's still eating chicken. No matter which ways you cook the chicken, it's chicken.
Everybody doesn't have the same. Wait, say that again.
You're putting sex on the table. It's like comparing it to chicken.
What I'm saying is, you said something about they lose the
interest,
flame
yes.
for it. Well, a spice of life is variety.
I agree.
So if you keep eating chicken,
do you know how many ways there is?
There's a whole lot of ways to make chicken.
But no matter which ways you cook it, it's still chicken.
But you don't like chicken no more? Just because
it's not that I don't like chicken. Okay.
You know what
right
the problem is?
Right now, as a woman, can I please tell you this? Give me like 30 seconds. I'm making this real fast. You're a woman, right?
Yeah.
You love shoes, right? Mm-hmm. So say you got this pair of shoes that match everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your get out dress, your bathing suit, every piece of lingerie you got, they look good even when you butt naked in the mirror, right?
Okay.
So you're out window shopping and you see a pair of shoes that are different color and they sexy. What do?
The same shoes?
Same shoes, they're just different color.
Yeah, I get them.
Why?
Because I like them.
And you're right. They're familiar, comfortable.
I like them. I know them. I know.
So before you buy these new shoes, these shoes back at home match everything. They don't get scratched. They go with every outfit. And you telling me you still gonna buy a new pair of shoes?
I like
if
shoes.
It's the same shoe, but
it's just a different color.
I like shoes.
I like shoes.
Okay, good. So you know what y'all just did? Y'all just agreed that y'all don't like eating chicken every night.
I don't like eating chicken every night, but I don't want to see
and I'm not against chicken
on a regular basis.
I'm not against
chicken. It's a difference level. There's a difference because we're talking about intimacy.
Point.
We're talking about intimacy. Okay. And when you start talking about intimacy and allowing, from a woman's perspective, I can't speak from a man's perspective, but from a woman's perspective, allowing somebody to enter into not just into your mind, but into your literal body. You're allowing somebody. You're being that vulnerable in that sense. That's not something that you open up to multiple beings. To develop a trust like that is something that should be considered sacred.
Okay.
Now, I can't speak from a man's point of view, but from a woman's point of view, that should be considered something that's sacred. And in that regard, you can't open that up or compare that to chicken.
Or won't.
Or you shouldn't.
Oh, okay.
You
Right.
If and I don't want to make it sound like other people don't value themselves, but when you have a certain value on yourself, you can't just give it to just a whole bunch of people. Like, you just don't.
I don't think we should give it to a whole bunch of people. I agree with that, but the fact that we were using it as a health, the health benefit of it, which is boosting the libido, is.
Well, why you can't have a lot of sex with one person?
That's what I'm saying.
You
I
can.
don't agree with giving it up to everybody, but I just think that we should.
You can, but the chicken get old.
Listen, before we got to go to commercial break, but let me just say this about the chicken. I'm the leftover queen. I'll make another dish out of the same meat. I'm just saying. But we'll be right back. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Last time on Talk Lately.
Government. I don't understand why. Look, me, and I haven't said anything either, but this is my moment. Where this American Healthcare Act is. Oh, you all right? Ooh, a sneeze and a cough. How'd that work out? That sounds real difficult. Like, damn, sneezing is like you skipping a heartbeat. A cough is like you bringing up a lung. So it was like a sneeze and a cough. So you was dying twice. Because you was coughing, I was like, you okay? Achoo! What? How you fit that in there? So, now back to the American Healthcare Act, because you're going to need that to get the cough and the sneeze together.
Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. In the building, we have live Mr. Michael Ryder. There we go. And Mr. Steve Yarn. They're doing a partnership based on what was it again? The stories of the Vulcan Blazers. An awesome production that they have coming up. And now the name of it will be called
Baltimore Heat.
There we go. They were telling us a little bit about they're in the pre-production phase of developing this Baltimore-based production. It seems like a really awesome idea. I always love for more artistic events to come here, and because it's more of an event because you guys are going to actually use Baltimore as your complete backdrop of the city, and that's very awesome to hear.
Yeah, we want people to fall in love with this project through the visions and the tales we're going to tell about these firefighters, but also we want them to fall in love with the city of Baltimore. Just like they did with Miami Vice and Chicago Fire and NYPD Blue and
Sex in the City,
and all these other places that have the city as a star as much as the artists and the actors are.
And that's Baltimore has for many years have been the backdrops of many movies. I could think of a few Whoopi Goldberg movies.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Before we left, we were talking about how having sex, I'm just going to say religiously, regularly, boosts your libido. So, you do it, you get it. Next, it improves women's bladders.
Is that why my bladder
That's
don't work?
why.
Oh
That
my gosh.
Yeah, I just think you might come to the grips that you just not getting none.
What you mean?
Right.
I'm just not what?
Just getting none. You just.
Well, I know I'm not getting none.
Right.
I'm not going to argue and debate.
I think you should embrace
I'm
that.
not getting none because I can't get none.
Right. That's all. You sound like a dude right now.
Because I can't. No, it's a choice. But my bladder is jacked up.
Well, it says good sex. Good sex is like a workout.
But I had some good sex.
Good
key word
Where my
was
belt?
good sex.
Good sex is
What about
like
just sex?
a workout for your pelvic floor muscles.
How about just sex?
Kegels work just fine.
Kegels.
Well, pro Kegels or pro sex. When you have an
you
orgasm,
doing
it
Kegels
causes contractions in your muscles, which strengthens them. Really, with the hum.
I mean, you started it. You just keep me running.
But that's what they said.
All right.
So if you're having bladder issues, you might want to consider. Yeah.
So you gotta get a little nappy snappy to get your good bladder, huh?
It's I'm not
so
sure.
I can't just do Kegels. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
So Kegels is maybe I mean I'm not
Kegels
can't say it wasn't.
Kegels tighten the muscles.
There's
down
always
and
another way.
Other muscles as well. It's just a matter of building your
But
muscles.
is Kegels as fun as sex?
I mean, if you're a workout junkie,
It's
Kegels
not
is
always
the way to
fun
go.
Because
And
Kegels.
that's the thing, Keisha. See, this is what I'm trying to say. We are sitting here talking as if all sexual experiences are fun or they're good. Like,
'Cause they
there are a lot of people that have bad sexual experiences, and we don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, so you don't tell them that it's not good.
It says good. I don't think
It's
good
just
sex
realistic.
matters. I think it's just sex. Rachel says she drinks cranberry juice for her bladder issues, so that's another option.
So that's
for
what I'm
those
talking
who
about.
are-
Rachel
who
said?
are-
Rachel said she
drinks
drinks cranberry juice.
Oh, Rachel not
So-
getting that.
So for the ones that are pro abstinence, Kegels and cranberry juice will be sufficient, obviously, based on what Lisha and Rachel say.
Well, what you think?
I think sex would be the better bet for the bladder issues. I'm
What you
sorry.
think?
Wait, so is there like a regiment assigned
Like,
to this? Am
if
I
you
supposed to
just-
have, take
like
2
to-
Ds a day and call me in the morning, like how does this work?
Like get it in daily, like in the morning, so that your bladder will be straight for the rest of the day.
You
Like,
said get it
She
in.
said get it in. She did say get it in.
Get
I
it
don't
in.
know. I don't know exactly.
Can you
what
please
call it.
define get it in?
Well, I think actually
Be
the morning is like
intimate.
finishing.
Huh?
I think the morning is like finishing the evening before, so it's not complete.
Oh, excuse me.
Well, I have been told that daily sex could be too much for a guy.
I'm confused.
I'm gonna go back to the shoe store. So I mean, don't
my
take me
goodness.
there.
He at the shoe
You
store
already know
again.
me. Like I'm gonna go back to the shoe store. You know, Warren, you real well spoken. You ever watch Warren speak? You be real chill.
Warren,
Do you think that that's not healthy? You said it's not healthy for men?
No, I was told that everyday sex is not healthy for men.
Well, I don't know if it's not
Harry Wallace
healthy.
said no.
But if you want this, you gotta give it every day or two. If you kind of alright with this, you can get it every day.
Oh, so it's like you get tired.
Well, I might not be tired in my mind, but if my penis isn't
It's just a little
as
worn.
potent as I need it to
Okay.
be, you gonna feel some
the
kind of
time builds strength. Okay, Harry Wallace man said no. Releasing is great for his body, so that's not.
But sex is not the only way.
That's your life
You don't have to
force.
have
You can't
sex.
just be releasing that all the time.
Harry said daily sex is not too much for him.
Johnny said not every man can handle everyday sex.
That is very true. That is very true.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So, in that instance, and I only made that point to say that now you can't fix my bladder if you can't give it to me. So, I'm going to go ahead and reduce to my key.
Well, no, because
stay one
depending
with
on
myself and the Lord.
depending on what you read, you don't need food every day.
You don't.
And I don't want to get. I want to make sure you don't need a man to build your bladder based on this definition. You don't. All it's saying is good sex and orgasm and contraction of the walls
You
to
do need
build
a man.
your muscles.
Because you're thinking about not giving a man nothing to build your bladder. You do need a man.
Well, no, I'm saying you don't need them. A woman don't need them.
No.
If this is based on having sex and the orgasms that are contracting your muscles so that you can develop strength in your muscles, you don't need a man to do that.
Nope, not at
That's all I'm saying.
Orgasm or releasing, there's a difference, ain't it?
No.
No,
it's not?
orgasm is just a contraction of the muscles. So when it release and it's just that's like you're saying Kegels, that's the same thing.
And a woman
So
with a good
you don't-
imagination.
So you don't necessarily need a man to do. There are
So
some
when you're
things
using
that
imagination, are you thinking about that Bruce Lee wood board, or are you thinking about a man?
What, the wood board?
You said an imagination, right?
Yeah.
So imagination involves penis, right?
Not necessarily.
Oh, so
not necessarily because when you really understand yourself and your body, and when you've taken the time to explore, you don't have to have sex to enjoy and have pleasurable experiences.
I'm not saying you needed it physically, but when in your mind, you're still thinking about a man, right? That's what I'm saying.
Well, you can't say that because you're asking her that question, but that could be anything. You don't know what you'll think about. Rachel said, fortunately for her, why is it fortunately, Rachel? That's not a fortunately. My husband has many health issues, which causes him to have no desire for sex, which works with her lack of libido. And they're just fine.
Okay, so the two of them together have issues that keep them from having sex, so it works for them. So and that's fine.
Nobody is lacking.
As long as nobody.
So all right, so say you with your partner, right? And that part stop working. What you do?
Well, we just talked about that not too long ago. Well,
right.
Would you go? Would you stay?
Key element to that relationship.
No, I mean,
so it's,
what if he say, yo, you just gotta do what you do, but don't come back home with that? How you feel about it?
Well, that was last week.
Oh, okay.
Would you go? What you say? And we said,
I said that that's not okay.
I said
so. So you got needs to be met, and because I can't meet them, I expect you to shut down.
But again, keep in mind, I said that that's not a need for women.
Oh well, if you shut down, you better be all right with me not shutting down.
But what I'm saying is that there are other things you can do outside of having sexual intercourse.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
This is a man's perspective.
When you 70 and my penis feel like a thumb and it just hang there.
No.
Oh, okay.
Next benefit. It lowers blood pressure. One study says that sexual intercourse, not masturbation, lowers your systolic blood pressure, your top number.
So does being a vegan.
Yeah, physical. Did you say
so being a vegan.
There's always another way. There's always another way, but is it as fun?
Well, all right.
Is there?
So how many of us are vegans?
We vegan-ish. We pescatarians, actually.
I'm apostolic.
So let's look at that when you abstinent, you're a vegan, and when you having sex,
oh my goodness,
you're carnivore.
So you're pretty much getting what you need to survive.
Right, when you abstinent. Right.
But as a carnivore, you just consume.
Right, so you want to be a brontosaurus or a raptor?
Yeah.
You seen Jurassic Park?
I did.
I'm not.
So the raptors were sexy, right?
I don't know all. I don't know all of the dinosaurs.
They were sexy, right?
The raptors were sexy.
Wait a minute.
Right,
okay.
they ran in packs.
So going with the blood pressure, it, like you said, it counts as exercise. That is another benefit.
Yeah,
you lose about 5 calories per minute. And also bumps up your heart rate.
So what if you only 3 minutes? You 15.
Get a membership. I'm starting to get understanding about a lot of things that's going on with me. Is that why my stomach's so fat?
That might be why your stomach. Listen, you might need to.
No. I don't need to. It's good to understand the whys. It's good to understand the whys, but I don't
have
need
a play date if you are like separated. Is that bad? To still have a play date?
What you mean?
Like with your ex,
sound like right? Your ex, like a play date. Like, look, this is
because it's legal.
This is
so
for
okay.
me.
Wait. So let me get understanding. So because it's legal, because I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna put this out there.
Absolutely.
So you're saying that me being in the state that I'm in, this pre-divorce state, why not just hook up with my ex so that I can kind of release that?
Right.
While
if y'all are in, depending on the place you're in, you know. No, that's not.
Go ahead.
No, he don't even say the ex when you do that.
Because realistically, a part of the problem could have been that wasn't a part of it in the first place.
Okay. I feel like you're just doing that out of comfort. You better break somebody in.
I don't, but I'm saying, but it's comfortable, and this is not about getting in a new relationship. This is just about the health benefits.
Right.
So but there are health benefits in being celibate, because, like you said, it's a matter of state of mind. If you're happy, then you'll feel better. When you're abstinent, you don't have the stress of having to manage somebody else's schedule and somebody else's emotions.
Johnny said
you don't have to.
get it in.
Yes,
No, Johnny said you just need to get it out.
You don't have to. But really, you don't have to.
I agree with that.
You don't have to play like it's somebody else. You can be yourself.
But we're not in the abstinence yet. But there are some that sounds good, but it's the exact flip. I mean, it's the opposite that comes along with being abstinent. You're stressed out, insecurities. There are things that comes along with abstinence.
That's because of the reasons why people choose to be abstinent.
If I could read minds becoming abstinent, I wouldn't be getting none. I'd be abstinent.
If you could read minds?
If I developed a superpower by being abstinent, oh yeah, I'd be abstinent.
What do you mean by that?
I want you so you know when you get abstinent, you get clarity of mind, right? So if right now, if I was absent and I could make stuff in this room float.
So you're saying
I'm staying that way.
If you got superpowers,
absolutely.
So that weighs more than sex.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because it all starts in the mind, right? So in my mind, I already had sex with you, so I'm good.
So you give up your arms, but the superpowers, that trumps sex.
Oh, that trumps everything. Absolutely. How many people you know with superpowers?
I don't know.
Right. I'll be the first one. Right.
But then, now you got superpowers, they're going to be throwing it at you.
What? I read your mind, so I already had you. I'm good.
Oh my goodness!
If you take that out, if you remove sex, though, I think so much. You'll get so much clarity. You'll gain so much clarity. I think you'll start seeing things you've never seen before, and
I can't say that to be
a holistic. I'm not even going to say spiritual, and I'm not going to make it a God thing.
Yeah, just because I got something.
Because everybody has different philosophical approaches to life, death, and all of those things. But holistically, as an individual, it does something to you as an individual. It does give you clarity about self, about life, about the things around you, when you can look at things clearly without the concerns that come with being in a relationship and being intertwined sexually. Because when you intertwine sexually with somebody, things occur psychologically.
So to piggyback and not to be too churchy, like 40 days, 40 nights, everything you go away.
I don't disagree. Okay, so let me ask you this. Going in with what y'all saying, abstinence. You
phone and text.
You're telling me y'all can call in if you want to give anything to the conversation. 410-702-5657 or text at, I cannot see that, 443-642-9403. We are reading your comments. But going with that, once you are clear-minded, you did your 40 days and 40 nights. High-minded. You got some type of, you slightly got some low-key superpowers, because now you're so clear-headed and elevated and happy within yourself, and then you get under the covers alone and just be quiet
and go to sleep.
You're just alone physically.
I just don't. I still feel like at some point in time that is just not enough. You're in a good place. You high, you happy, you in the covers, and you just looking like, I would love to talk to somebody about my special supernatural powers this time of morning.
Okay. So some folk can be celibate and still lay with somebody.
No, not for me.
Not me.
But you personalizing that.
Well, that's why I said me.
Okay.
He said 30 seconds. I'm saying that I can't.
He said 30 seconds.
Okay, let me ask you. Well, we ready to go to a commercial break. My question for you before we leave, abstinence. Do you feel like abstinence is enough? Do you feel like being clear-headed, clear-minded, one with yourself, that is enough? Is that enough for you personally? We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show. Now here's one little speech I'm going to give you before I get into the next article. Here's what I want to tell you. Still, fear is big business. Fear is big business. I'm not telling you not to be alarmed by what you're seeing. I'm not telling you not to be concerned. What I'm saying is not to buy into the notion that we should be afraid. You should be informed. You should be aware. You should start educating yourself about some things. I don't have the solutions. I don't have the answer. I wish I could say that if you did X, Y, and Z, you might not get shot by the police. I wish I could tell you that, but I can't. But what I can say is just start making yourself aware of what's going on, but don't be so consumed by what you're seeing that you become afraid, that you don't want to go out. Or you become numb. That's a good point, Nate. Nate said, or you become numb to it, like you just don't care. So we need you to just continue to be in touch with what's going on, but educate your family, talk to your sons, talk to your daughters, because it's not just limited to men. We know from Sandra Bland, she was a young woman who was killed. And we don't want to say, we don't know all the details behind what happened. No. The fact is that person's life still matters. They still have rights. They should not just be killed dead before they even get a trial. Okay, that's the point. They deserve a trial at least, but they can't even make it to the jail cell to get a trial to be tried. They're being killed even before arrest. Terrible. So that's my soapbox.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on Be Exposed Radio.
Last time on Talk Lately.
Government. I don't understand why. Look, me, and I haven't said anything either. This is my moment. Where this American Healthcare Act is. Oh, you all right? Ooh, a sneeze and a cough. How'd that work out? That sounds real difficult. Like, damn, sneezing is like you skipping a heartbeat. A cough is like you bringing up a lung. So it was like a sneeze and a cough. So you was dying twice. Because you was coughing. I was like, you okay? What? How you fit that in there? So, now back to the American Healthcare Act, because you're going to need that to get the cough and the sneeze together.
Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We're back. Prior to leaving, the question was, is abstinence enough? If you are so serene, as they were saying, you are one with yourself. You are with the hum. That's how you feel. You're like the
you're transcended.
You're transcended and lonely. In the
lonely.
Is that enough? Is that enough though? Your inner peace.
Yes. Yes. So when you get with somebody, right, after you've been burnt a few times, what do you tell them?
Do you mean physically burnt, or I just want to know?
No, like burnt emotional.
Okay, I want to know.
Like you're tired. Like you're not physically burnt.
Okay.
Well, maybe I guess
we're talking sex, so we got
right. Well, let's just physically burnt, emotionally burnt. You tell a person nothing's worth my inner peace.
Okay, but you have it now.
Right.
So now you know what it means to you.
Right.
Excuse me, but what she's saying is you lose that peace when you go home by yourself and get out of
the
house, is what she's saying.
To me.
Absolutely.
Because it is nothing to me more frustrating to be I know this gonna sound crazy. This just me. To be peaceful, clean, serene, everything is just perfect, and then you get under the nice fresh covers and alone. I think that just takes everything away. It makes it sad.
So let me get this right. For 6 days, but then the 7th day you're gonna feel lonely.
Yeah, it's only one day that you feel lonely.
Do you ever know?
One day.
So, can I ask you a question? Go ahead. Because you probably really. You ever had buyer's remorse? See, right. You ever had buyer's remorse?
Yes,
so what was worth more, the peace of mind or buyer's remorse?
Right.
Okay.
Like that comes with. You ever could have had a V8? Because I could have had a lot of V8s.
Listen, them push-ups I could have did for those 60 seconds.
It ain't worth it.
Would have helped me out.
It ain't worth it. For 60 seconds, but that's your fault.
But I think that comes with the
at least
you right. I feel no kind of way about
that. At least for the 60 seconds you burn 5 calories.
No sex. Look, we don't ran money out.
All right, listen. So we got the health benefits. You also lower your heart attack risk because you raise your heart rate. It's exercise.
That's true.
What I didn't know is it lessens pain. Before you reach for an aspirin, this is what Google say. I didn't say this.
There you go with Prophet Google.
Before you reach for an aspirin, try an orgasm. Orgasms block. Orgasms block. What is it? Pain. It releases a hormone that raises your pain threshold.
I heard that one time.
Stimulations without orgasms can also do the trick. Vaginal stimulation can block chronic back and leg pain. Genital stimulation can reduce menstrual cramps, arthritic pain, and sometimes headaches.
Okay, so can I say something again?
So he's so polite.
Because even though I haven't been pro celibacy in this physical world, because this is what this is. If I can control my mind, I don't need you.
Okay.
Because I can stimulate myself in all those ways and all those benefits if I'm absent.
So here's the thing. Why y'all laugh at me when I said something about my imagination and the things that go on in my mind?
What I'm saying about stimulating my mind, I'm not stimulating my mind with a vagina in mind.
I didn't say that. I was thinking. You said that.
But you did not say evil.
Because it was more interesting to just...
Right. You know what? I'm done.
But
I'm done.
Stimulation without an orgasm can also do. So it's not
That's
even
frustration.
Necessarily... But I'm saying, but it's actually just revert thought. Like when you are thinking about pain, when you're in pain, your thought, that's what you're focused on. Stimulation just sidetracks. It just takes your mind off.
No, it does. It really does. If I can make you want to float, Lisha float right now, and giving up vagina, vagina.
What?
I'm telling you, I don't
know what you just said.
But you know what? I've heard that before, and I've actually experimented with that.
Okay.
Okay.
I had 2 feet.
I'm sorry.
I had 2 feet, and for some, the 2, it just hurts the worst. Like in the middle of the morning when nothing is open, you can't get treatment for it.
Okay.
And I had nothing else to lose. I'm here dying. I'm dying here, you know.
But did it work?
It did. I mean, it did. You know.
Right. I was going to ask that.
I mean, while I was in the process.
Exactly.
So while you was in the process.
But that's why they said stimulation without orgasm.
But after you release, you didn't even feel the too
No, I was hurting like hell.
After you finish, you start hurting again, right?
Yeah.
But so unless you
don't have to
throughout the pain, throughout that period of inflammation in the back and leg, unless you're gonna be you're gonna come that whole time. I'm trying to.
But that's a different pain, though. If you ever had toothache, that's a.
But that's too different.
Toothache is like the devil.
That's a different animal.
It is.
I mean, if you had like a headache or something, it makes.
All I can say, I love women because if a menstrual cycle is anything like a toothache, y'all the strongest beings I've ever seen on the planet.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Because a toothache is the devil.
The toothache is, but using what you said, Mr. Warren, it doesn't have to be a climax.
No.
So he could have sustained that, that feeling of comfort for quite some time.
That's still ridiculous.
So let's talk about pro abstinence. What you got for
Kama Sutra?
Wait a minute, we didn't even finish this one.
Oh, yeah,
we really kind of did pro abstinence as we continue to
because you got like 4 going on. You got 4.
I feel like this is biased. I feel
she is biased. Why are you listening to her take? Because look, remember when she showed us she had like 2 pages full, front and back.
Right.
When she showed us again, she had like 1 page.
All right, let's go back. Let's go into abstinence. 5. You can learn self-control. We already tapped into some of that.
No,
this
so
abstinence.
Don't try to squeeze abstinence in real
right.
Wait a minute. No, I'm saying
she terrible.
You can learn self-control. With abstinence, you develop a patience.
You see how she runs,
and you are less likely. I actually wrote this out.
Oh, dramatic! You make sure you can focus on that because I don't want to do this.
You can develop patience and are less likely to act out of irrational manner. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's the truth because I think more so to me, people who are abstaining get angry quicker.
No, are they abstaining or are they just not?
Are they abstaining or they just don't like the option?
Either way, they're not.
Yes, but it's a different mindset.
Right.
Okay.
It's
I don't know.
It's like choosing to eat opposed to being forced to eat.
Right.
But see, I think that's the transformation from one mind to the other.
Yes.
I mean, eventually I would think a rational person would say, why in the hell am I getting angry? Why I'm so upset? So what is sex doing to me that I'm actually getting frustrated and angry?
Well, we know what sex is doing.
Or is it a certain woman? Or is it a certain type of female? So why did I act like this way towards her, but not this woman over here who's You know, she's brought me lunch on occasions, maybe a coworker or something.
Because the one that bought you lunch looked like a donkey.
That's not true. Because there are a lot of beautiful women that take good care of their men.
I didn't say that it wasn't. But the stereotype.
But you know, to further that along, now it goes to Keisha's point. Now, when you were at peace and you wrapped up in the bed, who would you want to be? Now you probably be in that new mindset was like the coworker. I would rather be talking with her right now. I would rather have her right now.
I would rather be talking to her.
Not to mention the fact that sex and rage, sex and anger, sex and violence go hand in hand. So to make it seem
I'm telling that's church. No, that's church. That's real talk.
I mean, to make it seem that the absence of sex is why people are getting enraged is kind of skewed, because it's not the absence of sex, it's the inability to get the sex that you desire, right, that's actually making you enraged. So you're not really being abstinent, you just can't get none, and you really want to,
because you can't get the high the way you want,
right? And for whatever reason, because if you're not doing this for the right reasons, if you're not abstaining for personal benefit, because there are a lot of women out there that aren't having sex because they're bitter.
Yes.
They're not having sex because they've been hurt. Yeah. They're afraid. And those are the women that you get the nasty at. And I'm just talking about women because I don't know very many men that practice celibacy. And that's sad, because I know a lot of single men.
Is that sad?
I know. It's sad because I know a lot of single men in the church, and I don't know very many that actually are practicing abstinence.
Single men in the church.
Okay. So that's sad for me. But I don't have those conversations and dialogues with men. So that's probably why I don't know.
Understood. I appreciate their perspective.
Yeah, not to mention, that's how I set my boundaries. Because certain stuff you just can't talk about because you open doors for other stuff. But it's not fair for us to assign that frustration to the absence of sex. It's an individual walk.
Johnny just said it's not the sex, it's the need to release.
Yes.
And you can release when you go jogging.
No, you can't release. You can't release no.
I think that's a guy thing. The need to release. Well, that goes back to what we were saying earlier.
Not necessarily release your bodily fluids, but that tension that gets built up, that sexual frustration, you can release that. And when you go jogging, when you go out and just explore, when you go travel, you do something different, you get a breath of fresh air. It's a lot of stuff you can do to find that woo-side moment.
You know what's better than traveling? Traveling and you run into somebody new. That's great traveling right there. That's great traveling.
So, but abstaining, how do you deal with, we were talking about that earlier, the insecurities with abstinence? When you choose that, now you're jogging, you're doing all this stuff, you're avoiding sex. To me, I don't jog. So maybe a jogger going to have to explain to me how that's an equivalent. But insecurities and abstinence, it is a breeding ground for anxiety and depression.
What,
studies
abstinence?
Show it with abstinence.
Is a breeding ground for what?
Anxiety and depression.
Excuse me, Lisha. This is disgusting.
Oh my goodness!
I didn't make it.
I know, but
because the water was abstaining from the spring.
Oh my goodness! Studies show that people who are.
I just wanted to let you know.
I'm glad I didn't give you
Studies show that people who started having sex in their mid-20s and 30s were more likely to suffer from anxiety. So I guess because we were talking about how, teaching abstinence is more so a youthful thing.
That's better
now. Okay, we're gonna go to commercial break. We'll be right back. I don't know.
Join the club that gives you stuff. Hey, thanks! Radio Loyalty. Here's how it works. Just click on the Radio Loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then, you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for stuff in the Radio Loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple, right? Radio Loyalty. Click that banner to join now.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
Are you getting your kids this hoverboard thing that's taken over the country? They range from $300 to $600. They're blowing up. And then, I mean, literally blowing up. That one video, I thought that was going to be the one and only video that I saw in reference to it, and it wasn't. I seen, now I could probably tell you about 10 to 15 videos of this happening, where this battery gets super, super hot and burns like holes into your tennis shoes.
Oh my.
And I know you would be pissed if you was wearing Jordans and you just paid all that money, you know, your lights are off. And
especially if they're from China. Your lights off.
Check out the Talk Lately show every Tuesday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Go back, we were talking about some of the insecurities that come along with abstinence. And they were saying how studies had shown that people who started having sex in their mid-20s and 30s were more likely to suffer from anxiety. I'm not. Have you ever heard of that before?
I disagree.
I have heard that, but I think when you do have sex, you suffer anxiety because you worried about if you're trying to fit somebody in mold.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Do they like me? Do they find this attractive? It does create a lot of emotional issues.
Mm-hmm. I never heard that before. I can see it though now that y'all break it down. I didn't understand it when I first read it. I was trying to figure out what does the later on in life age have to do with the.
Yeah, it's education. Now they're knowledgeable.
All right, because if I was abstaining, I wouldn't care how you felt about me.
Hey, that's how you feel?
Mindful abstinence. We talked about that earlier.
I like that. Mindful.
Mindful abstinence. It can overcome by shifting your focus. Okay, mindful abstinence can come by shifting your focus from having sex to create connection with people. Sex is a destination, but meanwhile enjoying the journey. Meaning that you are mindfully being abstinent with the other person, taking time to build a relationship with each other and enjoying
If I'm not
the journey
getting
there.
superpowers with abstinence, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm going to just get that clean up. I'm going to take the bad sex and all. But if I'm not getting superpowers from that celibacy.
So you're saying that you won't, not can't, because I believe you can. You're saying that you won't engage in a non-sexual relationship with a woman because you're not getting superpowers.
Do I find her attractive or I don't find her attractive?
Yeah, you find her attractive.
Oh, then I'm not trying to be platonic.
No, I'm saying morally, she just decides that she doesn't want to have sex. You can't maintain a relationship. It don't have to be a monogamous, weird couple relationship. But are you saying that you can't maintain?
Oh no, I can maintain a relationship because I'm gonna just do what I do. Oh yeah, I can maintain a relationship. But if she asks me to maintain it and not get none, because she don't want to give me none,
but what the statement is saying is it develops a stronger bond, a healthier relationship, and connection
and taking the time to enjoy the journey.
You want to build a bond with me? Sit on me for a little while.
Oh Lord, Johnny said,
sit on me for a little while.
I don't see how that builds a bond.
You just said you couldn't be in the bed by yourself with superpowers.
I don't know how sitting on it build. Yeah, that's a want, but I don't see how the sex builds a bond.
You don't? It develops a soul tie.
Say it again.
Yes, I agree with that.
It develops a soul tie, and there's a connection that gets made.
Right.
When you do engage in.
And then when I look at you, and no matter how much you don't want me, yo, what time is it?
Oh my God, Johnny said when you're abstinent and you do things other than releasing, you're just diverting your attention and need to release. Yeah, that's the same thing. Mindful abstinence. So you divert your attention to other things, other things in sex. I think that builds a better bond. I honestly do believe because sex is so emotional.
Johnny said that?
Johnny said that.
Okay.
Because sex, yes, that is a connection. I'm not saying that you don't get some sort of connection with being intimate with someone. I'm not saying that you don't. I do believe that it's there. But as far as a greater connection, truly becoming one with somebody, to me, emotionally, we see eye to eye.
So
we're in tune. That doesn't come from sex.
Because I'm a parable and analogy type person. Do Do you want to think that you crossed the water without the bridge, or do you really want to just walk the bridge?
I don't think that's a proper analogy.
Okay, so when you're abstinent, these are the waters.
Okay.
When you got sex, that's the bridge.
I know that, but I'm saying you're saying like you want to see if it's worth putting the rest of time into the person. Like you think sex is going to be the deciding factor of whether or not you're going to be with somebody?
Nobody's staying with nobody with trash sex.
But you can develop that. You can
I'm about to say I don't agree.
Listen, and women you buy, if his
don't do that.
I'm just saying. Now he could spit platinum and poop gold, but that's what you working with.
So
you stand for the rest of your life.
If he's spitting platinum and pooping gold, that ain't got to be what we working with.
Right, and this is all you can get.
Right, I mean,
this is all you can get. You can't get it from nowhere else.
Why not?
But you just said we were talking about the last show that if you can't get it, then you will go outside and do what you need to do.
Absolutely.
But he's saying,
come on,
that we would not tolerate that.
I think that's different because women would. Yes, they would. I believe that most women. Yes, I do.
Because again, like I said, women do not have sex because we need to bust a nut. We engage in sexual activity for the connection. Okay. This is how you can look at a woman and make her orgasm and climax without ever touching her.
I'm not saying
we don't have sex because we need to.
I'm not saying that you need to have the orgasm. What I'm saying, even if he's not scratching the walls, you're not staying.
That's not true.
I don't agree. No. Because if you have built a bond and a connection already, that's why I do believe that doing it the right way, like not having sex until marriage, I think that if we really could.
Why is that the right way?
That was the original design according to the Holy Scriptures, which I assume.
But what if I don't believe in that?
Is the truth.
Well, then that's a choice.
So you can.
That's your choice.
But that don't make it right.
So that's your moral truth. My foundational truth says that we were created to share ourselves with one person.
Period.
That's what I believe.
You brought up the hymen conversation.
I agree. I did brought up.
That's the same thing. The hymen was intended to be broken by your husband.
Oh.
I can't.
Y'all made this point.
I mean, I think y'all added that. To be honest with you,
no,
it ain't gotta be a husband to break the hymen.
No, it was intended.
That's why you're supposed to save yourself for marriage. That's why back in those.
Stop saying I'm supposed to save myself for marriage when that's not my belief.
It's too late. I don't think anybody here at the table can say that we're virgins and we've saved ourselves.
Born again.
We've missed all of that. You said
that's not a lie because I never married till I got married, so I saved myself for marriage.
You's a lie.
I've never been married before I was married.
Shut up.
Okay, so
I was a virgin in marriage.
Y'all wanted to let's get through the few benefits of
can you read it? Because you look like you can't read it.
I can. So we went through the self-control. You balance the relationships. Same thing we're talking about. You have time to better and cultivate personal relationships, a deeper connection with your partner. Another benefit. Decrease health risk, of course, because if you're abstaining, it's less likely for you to catch an STD. I don't know because we got this whole Usher situation. You know, we don't know how that got spreaded. Well, I'm just saying.
To bring Usher in?
Yeah. No, I'm saying because using her, we went through this because you can.
But you can be born with that.
That's why I said there's different ways to using that one STD.
Usher. Thank you. Who was born?
I said you can be born with that.
How?
You can be born with her
because we all carry a trait for it.
Chicken pox.
Right.
No, I'm talking about genital herpes.
So listen to what I'm saying to you.
Yes. No,
listen to what I'm saying to you. We
all
all can carry the trait.
I understand that, but I'm saying who was born with genital herpes?
We don't have the list.
Herpes that is transported through sexual contacts. How do you? Never mind. Go ahead.
Because
if your mother and father had it, right, and you be born, right?
All I'm saying is that Usher was not born with herpes.
He wasn't born with it. I'm saying Usher using that STD because I didn't want to have this conversation. That's why I said that. But now we
got it from Chile.
That was out there.
Maybe got it from Chile. That's why she mad at because he knew a secret.
Or it's not a gossip.
Another benefit. The right relationship. Less worry about jumping into the wrong relationship. Less pressure if you are taking the sex off the table. And it's again, I don't particularly agree with it. Inner confidence and peace. Y'all said it earlier. And emotional. I'm not saying I don't agree. I just don't think it's a benefit to me.
You don't think inner peace is a benefit?
I'm saying it wrong. Okay, it is a benefit to inner peace and emotional or spiritual journey. Yes, I just don't think that is an end all. That's not enough for me. Is what I'm saying.
So it's a what that is not a end all to it. It creates a path.
So
and a journey that you go down. And what it does is, as you're going through this journey, building yourself, eventually the idea is that you meet an equal that has been elevated beyond where you were when you started.
So y'all two agree that you shouldn't have sex before marriage, right?
We agree that we shouldn't.
Wait, stop. I don't feel like that's
so
we were taught that we shouldn't.
We're going to be honest on this show.
Right, but
I honestly believe that we should not have ever had sex before we got married. After having sex prior to marriage, we have now created a situation that makes it difficult for us to honor this moral setting that we have grown to accept to be right versus wrong. Because now that I've tasted, like I think I've heard you say, tasted the forbidden fruit, now I want more of it. Now we have to develop discipline to refrain from that, if that's what we're saying. Now that's my stance. So I'm that's where I am.
So I guess what I'm saying is it's kind of what you're saying, but like, how much do you really believe in it?
I believe that you should abstain. I just don't think that that follow through ain't necessarily as strong. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, so
as far as the strength.
that back. Okay, so in my head, after I become enlightened with my child's mother, just real quick, I don't date chicken heads.
Okay.
Period. I don't care what situation you put me in.
Who a chicken head is?
Okay, so let's not say chicken head since that's offensive. Can we say women of the inner city?
That's no, because you're as if all women in the inner city.
So I can go. Can I say 20 and say thottish? What can I say that we can be on the same page?
I asked you to define what you're talking about, like their characteristic traits.
Okay, right.
That she possesses.
Right.
That
so it doesn't matter if she spit platinum. I'm not dating her. That's commitment.
You're not dating what that is
type
the
of woman with those
characteristics. What is it? What characteristics? Loud.
Yeah.
Belligerent.
Yeah.
You
don't really got your real hair.
Wait, I don't have my real hair.
You don't got your real hair, and I can really tell.
You can tell
your tracks look like they've been glued for weeks.
Okay, so
I mean, I can keep going, but
tell
I'm not
me where you going with that?
Yes, please.
What I'm going with it is when you believe in something,
Okay.
you're truly committed to it.
Okay.
So let's apply this to men
Absolutely.
that have affairs.
Okay. Okay, let's go.
Because I was told
Juicing now.
that
Put the kids to bed.
I was told that men can have sexual experiences and totally be detached. That has nothing to do with their level of commitment. And this is not personal. This is not a statement that like I heard in my previous marriage. This is the stance that men typically try to take, an approach that they try to take. So explain to me what's different in what you just said as far as commitment to your decisions in regards to sex and commitment in decisions in regards to marriage.
And using what she just said, most men who choose those types of women do so that they can ensure they don't go too far with. Because if you choose up, you choose on your level or you choose on the same level of the person that you're in a relationship with, you can fall subject a little easier because she do have qualities that you're looking for. So you choose down. I'm just using this for.
I think that's malarkey, but
I do think it's malarkey. But I'm saying this is what they do. They call themselves choosing down because it's less likely for them to fall for this type of girl.
They choose down because it's easier access and not as much work.
Me personally, I think when men choose down, they lying
pretty much.
I don't disagree with that.
So,
Say that again. I'm sorry.
They lying to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that's the problem with that. You lying to yourself.
But you just said you were committed to not going down that road again. What makes you different? How you know you're not lying to yourself?
Good, because I put myself in situations to see if I'm lying to myself. I've done that.
So you've tested.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've done that. I'm not saying everyone
So
does.
are you saying that someone that is active in celibacy or abstinence should test the waters to see if they really, because what keeps me within my element is the fact that I set boundaries.
Right.
So I don't test the waters.
So it's a double-edged sword. I want to agree with you, but for me to really go through the fire, you gotta get real close to the fire.
You got to get in it if you want to go through
it.
Or you can just stay the heck away from it, and then you know you're not going to get burned.
But then you don't know how
and
strong
then we right
you are.
back to the subject matter,
But you don't know
which is
how strong
abstinence or no. Because you're saying if you really do it, you're going to have to get in it to see whether or not you're strong enough to. You're saying to be safe, don't go nowhere near the fire.
Well, maybe that's
the same.
Maybe that's what my discipline is. Everybody's discipline is different.
Agreed.
My discipline, I know me. I know that I'm touchy-feely. I know that I can be flirty. I know that I could set things in place that could blur the lines between what I say I want to do.
I think that's key right there.
And
the blurring the lines.
And because
that's where a lot of us live.
I have to set boundaries.
So even...
Go ahead.
I want to hear because you've been listening.
I'm piggybacking off of what Lisha said. You know, I kind of set those boundaries myself because I know the type of person I am. I won't say I'm easily been. I won't say I can be taken advantage of easily, but I'm a kind-hearted person, and that's not for every kind of woman.
So you wouldn't put yourself in a position to find out.
No.
Okay. We're going to take this last commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to finish the rest of the benefits of sex that they cut me off because they wanted to talk about the benefits of abstinence. We're going to run through that list, and we're going to get us a show next week. We'll be right back.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
If you had a dream venue, where would that be? Like, some people want to do Carnegie Hall or like a big stadium somewhere.
I want to go with Madison Square. I wanna feel that
so
building.
You just gonna shoot for the moon.
I want to feel it. I want to look out and just feel the vibration of all of those people there to be uplifted and all of that, because that's what I want to do for people.
So are you dancing? Are you...
I want to implement that. I think I want to start doing some blocking. Like, not like tear it up. But just like a
little 1-2.
Tell. A little, not voguing, but kind of the essence of it. Very posy and, hit the mark. Yeah, we're not trying to like bust out sweats.
So that's mean you don't have the dance gene and you.
I can dance.
Okay,
that's
not what I was doing.
I can dance, but I'm not, trying to get that. That's not my lane. I want to keep it really kind of a retro feel with like the new school with a retro feel. Like
okay. Little Banji soul.
Yeah.
People gonna start using that.
Right. And they should.
Little Banji soul. Yeah. But this market, so people know, like this was mine.
This where it came from. Because people was queens out here now that was princesses last week. They was princesses before my album dropped. Now they queen or something. I'm like, pinky up.
I cannot.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We are back. Prior to the commercial break, we were going over the bitter pros of abstaining from sex. And for the most part, it wasn't that it wasn't a lot of information. It's just that most of the information was repetitive, and they did a lot of highlighting the spiritual and moral.
Let's be honest.
Okay.
The information that you found.
That I found.
Yes.
Repetitive.
Yes. Because if she was pro-abstinence, that list be like,
that's
scroll.
not true.
I have a list. I have a list of a number of benefits.
But listen, we're not going to do it because Lisha, let's be clear. Let the record show in my Claire Huxtable voice that Lisha was supposed to be pro-abstinence notes. I was supposed to be pro-sex notes, and she dropped the ball.
First of all, no.
Get a Claire.
No, I was supposed to take that approach. I have never brought a note in here since we started.
Is that your justification?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
That is
She just wrote that in the car.
I did not. I wrote this at work.
Hey, you did your homework.
Absolutely.
Damn,
So let's just run through these real quick before we get into next week's show. We already did most of them. Reduced chance of prostate cancer for the men. It is believed that men who ejaculate at least 21 times a month are less likely to get prostate cancer.
That's over 9 days.
Yeah. Improved sleep. Of course, we know you go to sleep after.
Wait. You said 21 times a month.
21 times a month.
You said that's 9 days?
What I mean by that's only 9 days is you ain't ejaculating.
Oh, I thought that you were ejaculating multiple times.
I guess they're giving the woman some time.
Oh my God! Yeah, I was about to be afraid.
The hormone after an orgasm, the hormone prolactin is released, which is responsible. Prolactin.
That came from Google because that ain't even a word.
Prolactin is released.
I never heard that word.
Is responsible for the feeling of relaxation and sleepiness. You can look it up. I'm telling you, Google.
Yeah, she definitely made prolactin up.
Listen, no, because it's in here twice.
That's the Urban Dictionary.
It eases stress. It eases stress. It boosts brain power. Studies in rats show the increase in the hippocampus, the part of the brain.
What is hippocampus?
It's a part of the brain that stores memories.
Yeah.
It shows an increase in that. Yep. And the University of Amsterdam found that it also improves analytical thinking. It enhances your sense of smell.
Wait, you talking about having sex?
Having sex.
Abstinence improves your memory.
Well, they
but can I say something?
Because the hippocampus.
You said the University of Amsterdam, right?
Yes.
It ain't nothing but weed in Amsterdam.
Oh my goodness! I'm going right through this. We about to be done.
That's bold.
It makes you look younger. Of course, you know that the orgasms trigger your estrogen levels, release of estrogen in both men and women. So it improves your hair and skin quality. It regulates your periods. Now, this is the part that you can just have to read into it. I'm just going to tell you what it says. It improves tooth health. Tooth, yes. Semen. Listen, semen contains minerals like calcium, magnesium, zinc, all of which is found in root canal fillings.
So maybe not the teeth, but it was rumored that Cleopatra used to wash her face.
She did.
Right. So there are a boatload of pros and cons to both sex and abstinence. I want you to do what's best for you.
2 minutes.
I want you to do what's best for you. It seems like we are just as undecided. The first question I told you, would you choose sex or your non-dominant arm? Half of the people said yes, sex. Half of the people said non-dominant arm. We are pretty much at the same.
I told you if I get superpowers.
But that was not on the table.
Oh, well, that's got to be on the table.
It was no arm or no sex.
Well, invite me back next show and ask me if I want superpowers.
Next show, we will be discussing open marriages. Pros and cons. Open marriages.
That's like abstinence and sex almost. You just might as well have the same conversation.
We could. Well, basically, we're going to roll right on into the same conversation. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to Sunset Soul. I want to thank my guests, Mr. Warren Woodson and Mr.
My birthday's on Wednesday.
Her birthday. Happy birthday, Miss Lisha G, up and coming.
How old you been?
Thank you to Mr.
How old?
You terrible.
Mr. Guy, tell me your first name again, please. Because I've been calling Desmond.
I'm Guy.
Because I call y'all know I call last names all the time.
Mr. Desmond Guy.
Talented Mr. Desmond Guy. Thank you for coming on the show. I had started calling him Guy. Can I just call you Guy?
Yeah, because you say such is life.
Okay. Rachel said happy birthday. Next week we're talking open marriages, y'all. So if y'all got some input on that, y'all already know y'all can inbox or comment on the Sunset Soul page. Please like, please share this video. It'll be available to you throughout the week, period, as long as it'll be up. So we'll see y'all next week. See y'all later.
Bye.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
Did you say?
Listen. Next Monday at 12 o'clock. Listen, y'all. Mr. Michael Harrison Jr. He has been a guest on this show. He came here when we did the Black by Demand show and we was doing black businesses. His show, Black by Demand, airs Monday the 7th at 12 p.m. from 12 to 2. We have to support. That was what the show was. Yes. Supporting black-owned businesses. Let's support black-owned shows and stations. Be exposed. I appreciate him coming. He always comes and he supports Sunset Soul. So Sunset Soul will definitely support Black by Demand. You're going to hear this again. I'm going to make a whole video on everything. So check him out, y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
If you had a dream venue, where would that be? Like, some people want to do Carnegie Hall or like a big stadium somewhere.
I want to go with Madison Square. I want to